Hi guys, so I know what you're thinking. 2 videos in a row? What is this? And on a webcam too, not even on a good camera. Jeez, Mateo. Yes, that's how I imagine all of you guys, as Darth Vader. As for the webcam, well, you might remember this clip right here.
Mateo, I hope your camera's waterproof.
I hope so too. Yeah, so it turns out my camera actually isn't waterproof. And for those of you who have a memory longer than a goldfish, you may remember that I used this camera just yesterday. And so you might be wondering, well, why don't you make a video with that camera? Well, this is how it would look. So like the weird frame ratio, if I put this on a tripod, that is. And if I did it like yesterday, it would be this thing, but you would also have my handshake, and I don't know, where would I go? I would just walk around my apartment. So, you get my iMac webcam. But more so than me being in a video making mood, I'm just redoing the observing baseball sidebar over there. Maybe over there. I think over there. On the computer a lot, doing that, so I don't want to type out the entries and take all that time. I want to be kind of lazy and do them in a video format. What do you mean? You know that video editing takes way longer than writing out the entries. Well, yeah. So this is your thinly veiled attempt to show the readers how much work you put in. Okay, and if you saw that, that took a ton of time to edit. I don't have ADHD. What was this video supposed to even be about? Ah, yes. My favorite players in the MLB. I just thought it'd be a fun entry to do to let you guys know who my favorite players are in Major League Baseball. Okay, let's see how fast we can run through these. 1, I like his story and how his dad taught him his mechanics. That pretty much if he had any other mechanics he would not be in the major leagues because he is a 5'11" pitcher that weighs about 165. And also with Lincecum, there's the hipster effect, not in the way you think. I knew him before he was the Cy Young winner. I knew him in his first year when he was a reliever for the Giants, and so it's kind of fun to see a pitcher that you know succeed at the major league level. Number 2, when I became a fan of the Twins, I really wanted to have a favorite player on the Twins, and he was a no-brainer because I'm a pitcher. This might mislead you. I was not a hitter, I was a pitcher. I cannot still hit. He was the premier pitcher on the Twins, so I liked him also because he was the top closer in the league along with Mariano Rivera for a while there. And unlike most closers where it's fastball, great off-speed pitch, he had the fastball, he used more as a sinker, the great slider, and then a curveball as well as a changeup. Whereas, like, for example, Jonathan Papelbon, he has the fastball, splitter, or whomever. They really have only 2 pitches, whereas he used 3 or 4 on a consistent basis. 3, I was a Colombian pitcher when I pitched. He's the only Colombian pitcher in the major leagues. Enough said. 4, I don't know, he's really indicative of, or representative of the Nationals because he really came to the forefront when the Nationals started becoming a great team, and I don't know, I just like him. He's a nice guy in BP. Dude hits bombs. And if you haven't seen Michael Morse's hilariousness, that is him reenacting a grand slam when a ruling was upheld, I'll try to remember to put that down below, and I think that's reason enough to be a fan of his. Number 5. I actually wasn't a fan of his, or at least not that much of a Joe Mauer fan. Everyone in Minnesota liked him when I went to the Metrodome. I thought it was just because he was from Minnesota. It's not just that, and I eventually realized that he's a great guy, and I mean, he consistently puts up great average numbers, even though his power numbers only went up that one year. I finally got why people liked him, and so I eventually joined the bandwagon. So those are my modern day favorite players, and with this whole Hall of Fame class thing, I thought it'd be interesting to show you who I used to like when I first started liking baseball. The Rocket, Roger Clemens. That's his baseball card that I got later on in 2005, but this I've had forever. This has been on my wall many different places and for a while, sadly. My favorite hitter growing up. I had the Vortex bat, the regular bat, and to round out the trifecta of disappointment, here's the third player that I looked up to. I think there's enough said there. I thought that would be interesting to show. And as far as historical players go, I really only have one, and that's Harmon Killebrew. With historical players, it's the other things, and from what I've heard, Harmon Killebrew is an authentically great person. I'm sure there are a bunch of other great people, but they're not really in that favorite player category. But with Killebrew, he stayed around long after he retired in the form of good deeds. Thanks for watching. The next entry will probably be the characters of observing baseball entry that I mentioned before. That will more than likely not be a video, but I will maybe be making a video for Martin Luther King Day, a montage video. And one final note, I went through the process of making private and deleting a bunch of my entries, so if you don't see an entry from the past, I either made it private, I did that to 34 of my entries, or I deleted it outright, which I think I did to about 16 of my entries. And I also did that with YouTube videos. A bunch of them I just made private, but for example, all the Before the Gates Open videos, any video that has an entry attached to it, I just made it unlisted. So if you want to see that video, you still can, but you just have to go to the entry where I initially put it, and you can see it there still as normal. Just heads up for you guys, if you were looking for a video or an entry and you can't find it, that's what happened to it.